Hello, beautiful people. Hello, it's Leonie Laukkanen, and I'm here today with the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman, Becky Gilhespie. Becky is a vocal coach and an author, and Becky's has so many talents. Like Becky was a master chef finalist 20 years ago, so she's a cook as well, and just super creative. And me and Becky have known each other for quite a few years. And Becky's in the Spiritual Bling Collective, and part of that membership is an interview with me where we get to talk about beautiful, juicy themes of co-creating your life with the universe, and really living in ease, flow, and grace. And today we're going to talk about self-expression. And Becky, as a vocal coach and the author of Singing
The Self-Conscious,
which is an amazing book, which obviously is about overcoming blocks through your throat chakra, which is your energetic center for your authentic self, and how fear can really block us from being able to fully express ourselves. And so we're going to talk about self-expression, and we're going to talk about our evolution and really how we are able to show up in terms of who we truly are, not who we think we should be or what we were told when we were kids, or those thoughts and beliefs that were kind of pushed on us. It's like who we really are and how we can show up in the world in our full, authentic version of self-expression. So I'm so excited to have you here today, darling. So excited.
I was just going to say that is such a part of self-expression. You evolve, and that's exactly what you just said is the story that I had of how I came to write my book. And so many people can feel blocked.
Absolutely. I mean, when I wrote Mother Om 7 years ago, gosh, it was like the biggest kind of self-development exercise I've ever done, right? Like writing your heart on a bit of paper and then like sharing it with the world. It was huge. And anyone who's published a book, whether you're a multi-author book published author or an actual proper self-published book, it's a massive exercise in vulnerability, and really being able to overcome that sense of judgment as well from others. And
that's right. Like I remember, like as I was getting closer to, at the start, I was really in flow, and I always say this book sort of wrote me, which was amazing. But then as it got closer to releasing it, I felt those fears again. But then coming through that was also another experience towards it.
Yeah, really I love the title, Singing Self-Conscious, because we are so self-conscious all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. And it's really about being able to just drop so much of that pressure we put on ourselves. And like we both were sharing how we're all like dolled up, right? But underneath we're in our like pajamas.
This is my nightgown, but well, that looks cool. I'm going, and I had it on for a Zoom lesson last night, and I saw it in the camera. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I'm going to wear that today. I just slipped it in.
All right, like I love that, and I think so much of our world is online. And so it's like, yeah, a bit of makeup, some beautiful earrings from Luna Phoenix Designs.
I've got my bling on. I love them. But that's why I love the online world. We can work with anyone around the world and just show up as we are, and in our own homes. And I've found, like, for singing, teaching, people are more relaxed. And for me, I just have to clean this little space behind my head. So it's great. I love it when people come online.
It's an amazing world. It's an amazing world. So let's talk about some of the fears that people may have around being able to really authentically share their truth. And how do you help people overcome that? Like as a vocal coach, as a singing teacher, how do you help people really be able to get really in touch with who they truly are?
Yeah. Well, as a singing teacher, I just see this all the time, that people have this self-conscious side, or they just have this way about them that is like, oh, I've done that wrong. Is this right? And singing is all about your voice, and also your voice and your speaking voice, singing voice and speaking voice are the exact same voice, so it really is just getting that open and using that same voice. So I would say starting in other areas of your life, that concept of the self-expression, like fashion, like what do you like to wear, getting to know your values, because like you said earlier, it's so much about how we grow up and we're trying to maybe be something that we're not, or we have a lot of pain and we're actually blocking it down. And music, that's the thing I love about music, because it allows us to feel that, because to open up your self-expression, to evolve. That's why I wanted to like talk about these two concepts together. It's like you have to feel it, you have to touch those feelings, and music is the way to do it for me. So other people probably have other ways, many other ways that they can get in touch with those feelings, but that is part of your self-expression too, honoring what you feel inside, allowing yourself to feel it, and then let it come out. And I always say to students, it's really when you're on the side where you are singing or speaking, giving a presentation or whatever you're doing, you have that feeling of being in the driver's seat. But when you're on the receiving end, we don't care. What we want is for someone to take us on a journey. We want to experience those feelings. We want the singer or the speaker to take us somewhere. And that's what's so powerful about self-expression, when someone can drop the walls and bring that out and just take us on a journey and allow that. So I just help people, guide them to do that.
Mm. And we've all watched The Voice, or some of these amazing shows where you see this radical transformation of someone who has all this amazing training, and really like the self-expression from the beginning of their journey to the end. It's just phenomenal. And I do love watching these shows, particularly around singing, and just watching people like truly flourish, right? And all areas of their life change as a result.
Totally. And, there's a big one there about someone can have the most amazing voice. However, if they're blocked and if they're not kind of showing their vulnerability or letting go, then it just stops there. Like, it really doesn't matter. Everyone has a voice and every voice is totally unique. So what matters is that you bring out your voice, and it doesn't need to be the most amazing, technically proficient voice. I mean, who cares? I actually hate those like runs and twiddles and Mariah Carey fills. I actually just want to hear like a beautiful note with expression, dialed in, real and honest.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't have the best singing voice, but my kids don't care, right? And I've always sung to my babies, and
Yeah.
it's like it's such a beautiful. And we still play music in our house. We have mantra often during the day. I love Sia, and I put Sia on. I dance
Yeah.
around the kitchen. We play music every night for the kids to go to sleep. And I think, like, my son now plays piano, and he's 12, and he makes music on GarageBand, and I don't think we realize how much music affects our vibration and how much music changes the way we feel. Because you can be driving in your car, and this happened to me when I was going through my divorce many years ago, but I'd be totally fine, and then I'd hear a song and I'd be broken.
Yeah.
Right? And like emotion would just be pouring out of me at a traffic light. And then 10 minutes later, another song would come on, and I'd be like, woo, like I am that person driving in the car with the windows down, high vibing. But it has this incredible, like, the power of someone's voice, the power of storytelling, it has this amazing ability to allow us to really deeply feel. And I think that's something that we don't like to do. It's part of our human condition. We don't want to feel all the feelings, so we put walls up around ourselves. We don't want to feel all the pain, and so we block it. But as a result, we block the joy, we block the love, we block the bliss. And as Brené Brown so famously says, it's about being wholehearted and feeling all the feelings, and that your vulnerability and your authenticity is the birthplace of something so beautiful. And this leads us so into this beautiful sense of our evolution, because the more we can have that self-expression and creativity, and, like, I don't know about you, but I just give so much less phase now. As I've got into my 40s, I'm just like, I'd like to just dress like a 5-year-old half the time, because I feel really liberated and playful. And I've really dropped a lot of that judgment and that self-consciousness that I had when I was younger.
That's exactly right. And I had that experience too. And I was absolutely petrified of turning 40. And, as it got nearer and nearer, and then I started to feel better and better. It's like those walls just come down, because you start to realize, okay, I am in my body, I am in my mind, this is me, and you feel more comfortable. And so, yeah, you don't give an F. And it feels really good, and I feel like I'm really growing into that more and more.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. And so in regards to our evolution and being able to show up authentically online, whether we're running businesses or even just with our loved ones, and being able to really speak our truth. And I think this is so important when it comes to our evolution, because for so many of us, we don't like confrontation. You know, we just want to, and I definitely want to keep the peace in my house because it's very chaotic at times. But there has to be a space for people to be able to share how they feel and be able to speak their truth. And so many people are really scared of that. And so how do you help someone like overcome that fear of speaking their truth and being able to tap into that power of the voice? Because you said your speaking voice is the same as your singing voice.
Yeah, that's right.
So how does someone tap into when they might be feeling really uncomfortable in a situation and they feel like they can't talk about it? Or they've had a trauma, right? They've experienced a really big trauma and they can't vocalize that. How do you get someone to tap into that part of themselves, which could be really painful, to allow them to express themselves?
Yeah, the feeling more open. Well, just to in the actual voice lessons, I'm such a big believer of combining, actually, like working on your voice and practicing, really getting it out with the mindset work, like looking deeper. And in terms of evolving, I feel like to let it out, you kind of have to do that work. You have to start that journey. And having a mentor is so important. That's another reason why, it's so nice to talk to you here, because you really helped me and I started to open up, because I was sort of in that state too. I felt, and it's not linear, right? Because we can have trauma, or we can have blocks in different areas.
Yeah.
So, like when I first became a singing teacher, I was very blocked with so much of my expression. When I met you, I had just had babies, so I felt blocked in terms of my own. I needed an outlet for myself. So in all these times, I've sort of had a mentor to help me. I think that's such a key part. It's really hard to do it yourself. But in terms of tapping into, I would say it starts with mindfulness, because you have to come out of that reactionary state. So we're reacting, and we're kind of feeling the feelings, and we're kind of like, we're stuck in that state of, I'm angry, or I'm frustrated, or I'm devastated, and you're reacting to the world around you. The biggest thing is to go into mindfulness, understand that that's not real. The only thing that you can control are your own feeling state, and then you can create your reality. So the first thing, it must start with mindfulness. When you have the reaction, take a deep breath, slow down. It's all down to body, mind, and spirit, isn't it? So you take a deep breath, you allow yourself to come back into your body, calming down your, getting into your parasympathetic nervous system. And then that's when I just starting by practicing opening your voice. And I say to people, I like to start with something that's fairly powerful, because number one, it's actually easy to kind of push out a powerful sound. And I find that it empowers people. So for example, I get my students to say, like, if a dog's jumping up on them, you say no. And you get that feeling, your voice, when you say that, it's so strong and it cuts through the air. It's actually like kind of perfect, because your vocal cords are closed, and you feel firm and grounded on the ground. And it feels good to get that feeling of just pushing it out. So maybe you should try it, Lan. Say no.
I say no.
Oh
So
yeah,
there's a movie on that. We don't have Netflix, but we got it for the holidays, right? There was a lockdown. I'm like, we're getting Netflix. And there's a movie called Yes Day on Netflix. And it's basically like you say yes to your kids all day. And it's really funny. And of course, my kids are like, can we have a yes day? And I'm like, you know what? Mums want to say yes all the time. Like, we want to say yes, but we just have to say no, because it's like, but yeah, it's like, I feel like we do say no. Yeah, we know how to say no really strongly, but we struggle to say yes sometimes. It's kind of like to be open to receive, to be able to say, and in the one of the programs that we did together was the heartfulness training around being really in your intuition and being really open. And one of the practices was just saying yes.
That's true. I remember that.
Like, yes, yes to the opportunities, yes to the universe attracting what you want, like just saying yes. And I think that those two words have such a different vibration, don't they? No, yes,
That's
like
true.
just the power of those two words. And it's so, yeah. I remember teaching a meditation with kids where we'd actually, like, in our hands, we would kind of be like saying no, like, we'd say no, 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 like, and then we'd be like yes, 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 and like just changing their whole vibe with that. This just reminded me of when I used to
I
teach kids.
like that. I like that. And I've been thinking a
Yeah,
lot about the words that we say to ourselves. And it really does. That makes such a huge difference. So, in terms of opening up, because we know that in order to evolve and in order, you must raise your vibration, like you're saying. So,
yeah,
that's kind of a catch-22, because when you're in suffering and you feel blocked, you must open up and raise your vibration and feel better in order to kind of make those steps forward. But the words that you say to yourself play such a huge part in that. And in
yeah,
terms of your voice, that is your voice. You have a voice that you say in your head to yourself all the time, every day. So it's so important to praise yourself and to reframe things. So, for example, in terms of your voice, so many people say, "Oh, I can't sing," or whatever, but you can just reframe that in your mind of, "Oh, I'm learning how to. I've learned how to make that strong sound," or you just kind of reframe things in a more positive light. And that the gratitude practice is just the thing to raise your vibration. That is the most amazing way of opening up, whether you're in communication with your husband, or you're trying to sing a song to an audience. You can sit there and you can raise your vibration by feeling gratitude for whatever's in your life at the moment, or the experience that you're having. Even if it's something negative, there's always something that you can give gratitude for.
yeah. It's so, like, evolution obviously it's an amazing word, because we're all evolving every moment, every day, we wake up, it's a new beginning. And mindfulness is obviously such an essential ingredient on part of our evolution. And when you talk about the voice inside our head, the inner voice is so different to often our outer voice, like the way we speak to ourselves. And I see this reflected in the way I speak to my kids as well. It's really negative sometimes, and it's really
Yeah,
mean, and it's really cruel. But
yeah,
I would never say that to you, right? Or I'd never say it to someone, my friend, or but we might say it to someone we really love. And it's that inner voice, that inner critic, it can destroy you, like literally. It's so powerful. The mind is so powerful, and so often the mind doesn't know what's real and what's imagined.
yes,
So again, being your best friend, and befriending your mind, and befriending that inner critic, and reframing, and it's so essential. And you're gonna really beautifully share with us a practice, and I think this is a great time for that now, because this is a practice for forgiveness. And the Hoponopono prayer, it's a beautiful ancient Hawaiian prayer, and it's really life-changing, because we often go through our day where we'll say something we don't mean, or we go back to those habitual habits, and we feel really shit about ourselves, right? And we beat ourselves up, and we go into self-loathing. And this is a beautiful prayer, because it's really simple. It's just, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. And you can say it to somebody else, but it's very much about your own self-forgiveness as well. And I think we so often don't practice forgiveness towards ourselves. We teach it
yeah,
to our children. We may say it to our partner if we've had an argument, but we very rarely say it to ourselves. I forgive you for not being perfect, and
yeah,
not that perfection exists, but we have this expectation, of everything having to look and be a certain way. And so I love this evolution of knowing that what we're thinking, feeling is creating our reality. Like, that's so important. And this sense of vibration, that we can control our feeling state by changing our vibration. And it's our vibration, the feeling state, that goes out into the universe, that creates our reality. And this is like the evolution of mindfulness as well, that, when we live in our heart, which is where our intuition resides, and we can speak from our heart and allow that throat chakra to be really open and clear,
yeah.
it's really potent. And I want ask you a question before you share this prayer, because I was thinking about this the other day. And obviously, when you're singing, or when I'm speaking, and I do a lot of speaking engagements, I often feel like I'm channeling, right?
Yeah.
I am channeling in from like the content that I'm speaking about, but it's coming from God consciousness. It's coming from the universe.
It's amazing.
And so, like, our voice, we are just a vessel, right, for infinite consciousness. And I often feel that we know when someone is singing, and we feel so connected to them through our heart energy. It's almost like they're channeling divine essence. And I often feel when I'm speaking and I'm in flow and zone of genius, right, I'm actually channeling.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Not just speaking. And do you feel that? Like, do you feel that that comes through your clients?
I feel that sometimes, yeah, when you can get that self-consciousness out of the way,
Yeah.
and you just open up. That's the thing. You have to open up and just allow it, and
Yeah.
be in flow. You have to kind of shut down those thoughts, those negative thoughts, the inner critic that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And you have to give yourself over to what you're doing. You shut down the ego,
Yeah.
So whatever it is you're doing, you know the purpose of what you're doing it. You're giving that message to the audience who is listening to you, and you're allowing that to happen. When you could shut down your ego that goes, oh, but you don't look good, or you're not saying
Yeah.
that, or and it takes the work to do that. It takes self-work, and it's taken me until my early 40s now to get here, but I feel like I am, and it feels really good. I have had so much growth, and I just want to bring this to my clients and to other people. And because the voice, like you say, is so powerful, and it is a vibration. I heard this the other day, that sound is vibration. So we're just carrying that through. I hadn't thought about it the way you were saying, but that's a beautiful way of thinking about it. It's a channel,
Yeah.
and it makes us feel. That's why music is so powerful. When I was before I became a singing teacher, I was very stifled, and I remember living in a London flat, like a box flat on Tottenham Court Road, and looking out the window and just feeling so depressed. But I would listen to Eva Cassidy live at Blues Alley. I found this album, and it just set my soul on fire, and I would sit there and I would just cry, like you say. I would, and that was one of the moments where I started to feel myself opening, to these other possibilities. And then it's been like this little evolution along the way. And I remember in heartfulness training, just like crying. You feel like you're like opening, like someone's cracking you open like a nut. But yeah, it's nice to let that out, let the self-expression out.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and especially when we realize that we're not alone, and
Yeah.
we can be that vessel, and let's be that channel, whether we're having a beautiful conversation with our child, or a vulnerable conversation with our partner, or we're speaking on stage in front of hundreds of people. Like, to surrender and to be present and to drop your anchor and be really in the moment, and to know that that is effortlessness. And we spend so much time planning and trying to control all the outcomes. And I did some beautiful training with another one of our sisters, Tamala Ridge, who we did an amazing conversation on mindfulness. And she never plans anything. She just channels everything that she teaches.
Wow.
And I'm like, it's amazing to be in that space, to know exactly what to do, when to show up online, what post to write. It's just, everything's channeled. And that's our evolution, I believe, right?
Yes.
To be in full surrender and full trust, and to know that, however we show up, and those words that come out of our mouth, whether we're singing or speaking, that's divine, and that's perfect, and that's exactly how it should be. And I think that is our evolution, to just be this conduit for greatness and goodness, and like this universal energy to just come through. And yeah, I would love to kind of leave people with that notion of, when you're in flow and you've got that ego surrendered, you are just this infinite channel for God consciousness, and then it's effortlessness, right?
It's amazing. I was just thinking about how sometimes it's really nice to visualize. It's hard to get there. You can't just turn that on. You have to kind of work at it. But one of the things I say to my students, it's like visualize yourself like a surfer on a wave, and visualize yourself letting go, because life is one big series of letting go, and is also one big series of improvising. We're all improvising in every moment, and that is self-expression too. So you have to let go, because it's our grasping at things and trying to control things that sort of blocks us and stifles us. And I know, because I've been there, and it's still a work,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's suffocating. It's absolutely suffocating. And it is such a process of surrendering and opening and all those beautiful, beautiful words. And I really notice just when I'm teaching a meditation, like my whole voice is soft, my
Yes.
whole body is soft. Like it's like you go into that space, and it's very different from me in the morning with my kids trying to get them ready. Get your shoes on! Like it's such a different space, and that energy obviously affects everybody else as well. So I'd love for you to share now the Ho'oponopono prayer with us, and allow us to just go into this space of vibration. It's the third hermetic law of the universe. It's the most powerful law. Everything is a vibration. Om is the most beautiful sound. It's the sound of creation and peace. Like everything is sound and vibration, and that's how we can literally change our feeling state by being tuned into that.
That's right. I was going to say, with the in terms of doing a chant, and this is something that's pretty new to me. I was always singing and learning the technical sides of singing, but this is new, opening up to allowing yourself to experience just the vibration. And, you can say into the mirror any positive mantra that you like, or you could say the Ho'oponopono, the actual words, the Hawaiian words, or you could say the mantra, which is, what is it, Leonie?
So please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you.
Yes, you can say that over and over again. And then you're practicing your self expression. You're practicing getting it out. I think it's a big thing about just let it out, whether you say it or you can then try and sing it, make up a little medley. So, what I'm going to do now is just sing a little melody over and over again, and we get into the vibration. So, maybe listen for a while, or at home, go along with it, and then feel how at the end it will raise your vibration. So I've got my piano here. Got it on strings, which is kind of more atmospheric. Let's see. Okay. Okay. And also you can do a beat. I don't have a drum or anything, but music just activates something inside us. So we'll just do a little beat. Ho'oponopono, 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 Ho'oponopono.
I could listen to you all day. Like it's just so beautiful, darling. And thank you for sharing that with us. And yeah, I know that singing is obviously what you teach, but you still go, just the act of actually singing can still be confronting. And I think, we teach what we need to learn the most. Absolutely. Right. We're given these gifts and these talents and these skills, and our evolution is to go out and teach what, I struggle with mindfulness. I struggle with many of these things that I teach, right? But it's practice, and it's being able to harness and know the laws and the vibration, and being tuned into our intuition, and to use that energy and to use that force to go out and you know, create for the greater good. So thank you so much for being here today with us, and please join us. We're going to be in Circle on April the 22nd in 2 weeks time, where you're very welcome to join us, where we'll come back in and we'll be sharing more around this theme of self-expression and what it means, and you can come and be part of that conversation. And Becky, we're going to chant 108 times. We're going to chant a melody together and really sit in this elevated state of vibration. So please just comment on this video, and I will invite you into the Spiritual Bling Collective, into that circle. So yay, thank you so much, my love.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really nice.
And where can we buy your book?
Okay, so the book you can buy on Amazon, and it's Singing for the Self-Conscious, so you just type that in. And also you could get a free chapter of it, a free taster from my website, which is vocals.beckygilhespie.com. So
I will tag all of that love in the post. But yeah, please join us. The women in the collective are beautiful. Everybody is interviewed to share their magic with the world, and you get to receive beautiful earrings, custom design earrings. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Namaste.
bye.